Today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite practices for self-care, self-esteem, self-love, gratitude journal. The practice of writing your gratitude every day, if possible. 4 years ago, I was at a Christmas gift exchange in a community gathering. I didn't really know the person, so it was kind of serendipitous how I got the book, but it was a gratitude journal to fill out. And so I started to practice. And what I started with was a commitment to write in that journal every day for 10 weeks, 70 days in a row. I initially set a timer for 5 minutes and said, okay, whatever I'm grateful for the day, whether I write 3 items or 20 items, it's going to be done in 5 minutes. When I got to 70 days, I decided to continue. When I got to 100, I got my sights set on 1,001 days. And I didn't tell anybody. I ended up getting to 1,001 days, and I continued until 1,297 days in a row of gratitude journal before stopping. The reason why are some of the benefits. In my experience, gratitude journal builds self-esteem like few things do. It builds a sense of taking in the good, taking a moment, and I would almost always do it at the end of the day before bed. It put me in a good space no matter how the day went, just before getting in bed. But as I went through the day and picked out the moments that I was grateful for, it just got me in the habit of looking for the good things. And in that way, it helped reprogram my perspective. And, one of the things it also did was help me learn how to celebrate, because what I found is that a lot of the things I was grateful for were actually the things that I did for myself. So usually I think when people imagine gratitude journals, it's what happened to them. And that's cool, and that's important to write that down. Like you found a $20 bill on the ground, or somebody gave you the second half of a meal that you weren't expecting when you were hungry. So those things are important, and I think that just as important, the little things that I noticed I did for myself that at the end of the day I was grateful for. And so in writing my gratitude journal, it became a celebration of awesome things that happened to me throughout the day, and then little and big ways that I took care of myself that day. And celebrating may seem silly, but over the span of days, weeks, months, and of course years, it started to feel more and more natural and more like an ally for me, a support. What I found that celebrating does is it creates a positive feedback loop. Just the way when we're down and we feel guilty or shame around something, how it can create sometimes more of the same behavior. Well, celebrating can reinforce the other way. Reinforce so-called good behavior or things that feel good. What I would say is if you're just getting started on a gratitude journal, you could start as simple as writing 3 things that you're grateful for each day. Some people like to do it in the morning, some people do it in the evening, some people do it right at bed. Just do it any time of the day if it means you're going to get it done that day. I would suggest setting a timer, because you might be surprised with how much actually comes up. I set mine for 5 minutes. You could do 3 minutes. The bottom line is begin the habit. That's what's most important. The last thing I'll say is, what about those days that are really tough? I could pull from a whole host of them, but I'll just say one of the days I was 3 years into my gratitude journal. I had an oil leak in the middle of a road trip at 1:30 in the morning in a Nevada desert, not knowing where I was. GPS was even confused. And it was obviously dark, and my insurance company referred me to the Nevada Highway Patrol. Insurance company couldn't help me. Nevada Highway Patrol said they couldn't help me. And then they referred me to a local towing company 20 minutes away in a small town. 2 hours later, 3:30 in the morning, I got picked up. So much of that night and that next morning went wrong. It was really tough. And yet I had just finished almost 1,300 days of gratitude journal. And what I did was I picked out my phone when I was waiting for a tow truck, not knowing how long it would be. And I started journaling all of the things that I was proud of how I handled it and things that I was noticing that I appreciated. And that included a big bug that was, literally the size of 1.5 tennis balls coming up to greet me. And it wasn't scary, it was just interesting. I'd never seen something like it. And then it also included getting towed 2.5 hours to Reno by somebody from a totally different political viewpoint and background, and really getting his world and connecting with him. Something I never would have expected, and certainly would have never chose had I not had an oil leak on my motorcycle. Just the circumstances led to that. In my experience, this practice can create a different set of lens on how we see things and experience things. And I suggest starting small and doing it often and consistently, and seeing where it takes you. I hope this experience and guidance was helpful for you. I look forward to sharing more extensively on my practices, including gratitude journaling. Thanks so much for watching. All right.